and they instantly took you to somewhere between 3 and 10 of the closest people in your life, right? You instantly went. You were like, Brett, come on, I'm gonna take you to my sister, my brother, my cousin, and my best friend this week. And I'm getting nothing tangible dollars at all out of it. And as we grow and we're mostly new people, we'll spend a lot less time in Sandlot. There are enough people here who are still in Sandlot that it's a reference point that works in this conversation. So why in the heck were you willing to take, who brought you into the business the first time?
Mario.
Okay, why were you willing to take Mario to the closest people in your life the minute you came into this business?
It was what everybody else was doing.
It was what everyone else was doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a culture.
It was a culture.
So there was a culture.
You didn't know what the hell was going on. You know, everybody was excited. You're like, everybody's getting on the phone. I got on the phone.
And what was the emotion?
Excitement. It was just, it was this, you could feel it, like it was ecstatic. Like everybody was jumping off the walls and you're like, I don't know what's really going on, but I think I need to do something that everybody else is doing. Like you were just.
So that's what you did, and you felt excited.
Yeah.
Yes. You felt excited. Wait, you came into this business?
War room lady.
I sat at a table at your wedding with a bunch of people that you had met at Target.
It's true.
So you walked in the door, and you said, yep, I'm taking you to my top people, Brett. Why? Why'd you do it?
It was a solution for me to basically versus where I was at with the rest of my economical life. So at that point, I was like, I got to do something different, and this is it. So this is what I was just like, this is what people are doing. So this is what we do.
And how'd you feel when you took Brett to see those people?
Well, yeah, I was pumped up about it because I was like, okay, this is going to work. You know, so.
You're excited.
Yeah.
You're pumped up. Because logically, right?
Wait.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I can't Brett.
So, would you mind? Come here. This is important, y'all, because this guy
Well, I
has
was
been.
laughing because it was actually David Santillo.
I know, it's David Santillo, but could you please describe the video the War Room Wade video that I saw?
Oh, okay.
Because this is important, because what you just heard was like, yeah, no, like, this was a solution, and this was kind of good.
Well, it was just simple. It's like a 30-second description. So I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment in Burbank with no furniture, and so I had like a bed, and so my living room had a whole floor that was open. So what I did is when I did my market, I just did I actually, if you think about it, I almost did a line of the access gap. I mean the lineup. I'm sorry, thank God. So I had 3x5 index cards all the way across of like kind of people and categories, and I had 3x5 index cards of people down, and I was like all excitable. And I was just my hair. I was on fire about it.
He
So.
told everybody. I remember.
I like to talk. It's a personal fantasy. So.
But it was War Room Wade. He's like, this is our War Room. We're gonna go this. Because this is really important, because I know where Robin's going, but like how you described it and how that gap, what we're kind of talking about, because you were, yeah, it was fun. War Room Wade.
Yeah.
Cindy, you got hair? Beginning? Who brought you into this business? Brett. And how did you feel when you came into the business?
Yeah, I have a lot of visions, of big dreams, excited. I had a big vision.
What was your big vision?
Having my own office.
Having your own office. Why did you want your own office?
Because I wanted people to be able to come in and hear what we had to say. Somewhere to go.
So you wanted people to somewhere to go. Any other reason you wanted your own office?
I was proud of it. Proud of it.
You're proud of it. And what do you sound like when you're excited?
What do I sound like? Maybe louder.
Okay.
Kind of loud.
And when you talk to people when you first found the business, When you talk to your best friend, when you talk to your sister, did you tell them about it?
Yeah, I did. I didn't know exactly what to say, but I just said, you need to hear this.
You need to hear this. That's what you said. Bob and Don. This is so fun. Look, all you all came in the business, back in the business. Back in the day. Back in the day. Why'd you do it?
AAA'z.
F&A's. What'd you get from the F&A's? Why F&A's?
Well, we got the value of it, you know, knowing where you are and what it takes to move you forward.
So you saw
Wanted to-
personal value.
And wanted to share that with the people that we cared about.
How simple it was. One simple acronym, F&A, how to change someone's life.
Okay, all of this is enthusiasm. My husband says, and it is true, we are in an attraction business. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? Wait, why does Brett say we're in an attraction business?
Well, because we're, our inventory is people, we recruit people. So we want to have we want to recruit people to an attractive business. Like we don't want it to be like, hey, listen, you want to make $1 million? Great. We're going to have to teach you how to be like a, slaughter animal farmer or something. Yeah, that's horrible all day long. Sorry, did what else. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I was like, yeah, I can do that.
It really depends on your audience.
That's true,
You
yeah,
always get to
so-
eat
I was trying to
smart.
think of like the most horrible thing I could do, and I was like, Slaughterhouse 5, Slaughterhouse 5. I was like, oh my god. So if people think you're doing something, they're not enthusiastic about what they're doing typically to recruit them. So if you're like fired up about what you're doing and you get them to believe that they can feel the same way as you, people want that.
Do people want to follow? Are people excited to follow someone who's not excited about what they're doing?
No.
No. Not at all. We're in an attraction business. That means that as professional recruits, our job is to attract people to the business. The way we change the access gap is that we attract people to help support the mission of spreading the word. The F&A, touching families' lives that we would never touch otherwise. And the single most important thing for attracting someone to your business is actually not up here. It's right here. Well, actually, technically, it's here, right, teacher? It's your heart. It's your enthusiasm. You can have the access gap down better than any of us. And if you're not excited about it, it's not gonna matter. Because what we know is that a system that the people in this room have chosen not to follow attracts hundreds of thousands of people with blind enthusiasm. And it doesn't actually take a room full of people. I will never forget being at convention and hearing a couple out of Texas. And the woman got up there to speak, and she was in an ops night, because it was opportunity night, not an ops night, of one person. Massive hierarchy. The culture helps. The culture builds momentum. And it's not impossible without it. Because it starts here. And it literally starts with one person. It starts with one person. Art was one person. It starts with our own enthusiasm. And one of the things that I realized was that in this process, and it's been a process to build the systems and the company and the learning, right? I mean, Bella and Tony, like, they're in the weeds right now. They're like, I got the what it is, and I'm working on the what it means, and I'm thinking about in the access gap, so how am I talking about education versus ownership? And it's really important for teaching it. And it's really important for getting the conversations down. And it's all up here. And so our challenge is, while we're learning up here, how do we keep this ignited? Because this is what attracts. It's interesting. The other day, and actually Brett did this last week, and I didn't appreciate it as much as I did, as I've been thinking about enthusiasm. So he talked about the, what do you call it?
Theory of decreasing.
Theory of decreasing enthusiasm.
The TDR.
Okay, theory of decreasing enthusiasm says, you come into the business and you're like, woohoo, 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 I'm so excited. It's the greatest thing I ever found. I'm gonna fucking leave Stanford. I just did the F word. You know how I felt about that. Are you kidding me?
I think it's the first time I've ever heard you say that word.
God. I mean, really? Can you imagine? Like, for your best friend calls you and says, yeah, that full ride to the top school in the country, I'm telling you, this Primerica thing, it's got nothing on Stanford. Stanford! Really? Talk about excited. Like, what are you gonna go do? Well, I'm gonna help people. Well, how the hell are you gonna help people? I don't know. I'm gonna help people. And I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing ever. You gotta see this whole thing. Right? The man says to me, little does he know where our lives are going. I said, what about all our dreams? He said, who's gonna pay for your dreams? One meeting. One meeting, and we sat down with my mom and me and my boyfriend at the time, and man, this man sat down with everybody. Had no clue what he was doing. No offense. Thought he knew, because of Brett. But see, here's the way Brett takes enthusiasm. Because we all do enthusiasm different. And my husband is a genius. I think you all know that. I think we're coming to see that. He's recognizing that not everybody does enthusiasm the way Brett does enthusiasm. And so for us, one of the conversations is, how do we instill enthusiasm? How do we build enthusiasm? How do we create enthusiasm if you're not going on KTs that are designed to build enthusiasm? How do you see the value of the F&A? You do your own F&A. You do a scavenger hunt on an F&A. Brett went home and spent hours and hours and hours that none of you know about when he first started, when the F&A first came out, learning the F&A on his own. That's where his enthusiasm went. We come in the business and we're so excited because we found something. There was a hole. And Primerica was going to fill it. And we had no friggin' clue about it. And then we start learning. There's our little learning curve. And now we're like, RVP, SVP, woo-hoo, we know what we're doing. We're really clear about what we're doing. And as it turns out, as I'm learning, our enthusiasm drops. And I'm not going to put an unhappy face because we're not unhappy, but we kind of flatline in some ways. And what's interesting, and Brett, what's the language you use? What do the knowledgeable people start to have? What's probable, what's possible versus what's...
Well,
brand new people have possibility thinking. And as you know more, it converts from possibility to probability. But you're like, it's inevitable that it's going to, but not from an enthusiastic. We replace, for brand new people, you talk to people, you're like, I don't know what's going on, but this is the greatest thing ever. And then you learn what to say, and you're like, yeah, so this is pretty cool. Let me teach you how this works.
So I call this cautious enthusiasm.
Mm.
And here we've got this like blind, unbridled enthusiasm. Now, here's what I know that I think is really interesting. See, I went to convention, and I've met a lot of $1 million earners in this business. America's made more $1 million earners than any other corporate. And you know what I noticed about those $1 million earners? They do not show cautious enthusiasm. They actually show blind, unbridled enthusiasm for this business. I'm telling you, you see Danny sitting there with his group of people around him, and he's looking like the day he got here. Mike Sharp. He's like, I'm cool. He's kind of Mr. Cool. And he's still, you're like, can I talk to him? And he's like, absolutely, let me tell you everything that I know. You go on convention, you go on a trip, people are in the pool surrounding these $1 million earners. And they're not like, well, yeah, it's kind of an interesting business. Let me tell you the intellectual side of this. They are so excited. That doesn't mean that they weren't ever here. Because I think we actually see cycles. And I truly believe, right? So two things happen. One, growth happens here. And what folks over here get to do is leverage the new folks over here. Brett gets to feed off of, leverage, be a part of the enthusiasm that Colin has. And it's not about one or the other. Some people look at this picture and think, oh, that's down, that's negative. But here's the truth. The true leaders, the folks who succeed the most in this box, are the folks who can combine enthusiasm and knowledge together. Because enthusiasm plus knowledge inspires confidence. The reason that you go on that first appointment, that KT, not alone, but with your upline, it's because hopefully your upline was taught well enough that the upline has knowledgeable enthusiasm to inspire confidence. And when we combine the unbridled enthusiastic, this is the greatest thing in the world, but I don't really know why, with let me tell you why this is the greatest thing in the world, we have the best attraction business ever. And what we do in here that's different than anywhere else is we figure out the pieces that we need and we break them down into a skill. A skill that can be taught, a skill that can be learned, a skill that can be mastered, a skill that can be taught. And our skills are our assets. Enthusiasm is a skill. You don't have to think of it that way. Enthusiasm is a choice. We get to learn how to harness our enthusiasm, how to build our enthusiasm, how to share our enthusiasm over time. That is our asset. Right now, it's one of Colin's greatest assets. Colin is an enthusiastic person. It doesn't matter what I'm talking about. He's excited about it. So, one of the interesting things about this system is in the old system, you went to KTs here, and in this system, you're going to KTs, you're already sloping down. You're focused on your learning. And so it's our job to harness this. How do we do it? I had a super interesting conversation with Tony this week. Tony's licensed, right? He's been on some appointments, not all appointments, going on more appointments. Tony came in and was like, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. When do you gotta do this? Mom, you gotta do this, right? Everybody in my life has gotta do this. And then a couple things happen. And they're gonna happen, right? There is no business. There's no business on the face of the planet that goes like this. Every day, all day. I promise you, not a single business. They go up and they go down. And they go up and they go down. And they go up and they go down. The most successful CEOs in this country, you know, I love these psychology studies. The most successful CEOs are the ones who do not emotionally ride the waves of their company. The most successful CEOs are the ones who hold the enthusiasm for the entire organization across the top as the company cycles. Most people cycle with what happens. Something good happens in their life, they're excited. Doesn't meet the expectations that they set, they get not excited. Company's doing really well, we're all excited. Company lost a key customer, we're not excited. The most successful CEOs, they recognize where it is. They see the growth. They look for the new skills. They look for the holes that they can fill, and they stay here emotionally. Now, different from being consistent emotionally at all times and not acknowledging that there are tough things that happen in our lives, being enthusiastic is a choice. So the question is, where do we draw our enthusiasm from? The longer we're here, the more we learn. Tony said, well, what do you mean? I mean, I've been here. I said to Tony, has anything happened in the past 2 weeks that was new and exciting in your business? Remember this conversation? What was new and exciting that we talked about? What? Your F&A. And Tony, what did you learn that you're so excited about from your F&A? No, you didn't. What did you learn from your F&A that you're excited about for you in your life? Debt-free day. Debt-free day, and that you're on the track for saving to become? To retire. To retire with $500? To retire with? $600,000. That's not a bad gig. If you do nothing else, which we know he's going to do more than that. So Tony, how excited are you that you found out that you could be debt-free 5 years earlier than your amazing plan, and that you're guaranteed set for retirement? Super excited. Is this super excited, Tony? Is this what Tony looks like when he's super excited, Wendy? No. Okay. So Wendy, describe Tony when he's super excited. He can't move. He can't stop moving. So Tony!
It's crashing from your energy.
Yeah.
Tony, how excited are you?
I need to show it. I need to go out there and show it the same way when I first came.
Are you excited?
Oh, God.
Are you sure? Are you excited? Okay. Are you excited to share what you learned with other people in your life who could potentially be debt-free 5 years earlier than they thought? Yeah. That's exciting. That's life-changing. See, Tony didn't know that when he came into this business, and he was really excited about the business. 6 weeks later, Tony did his F&A and has an opportunity to be excited about new learning. And when he wants to, he gets to share that excitement with others, which is what we talked about. And the realization of, oh my gosh, there's new points of enthusiasm all the time. You listen to my husband. We say the good news. You hear this? You hear us say the good news? It's the new historically in town. So we use historically, right, when we're talking about or I am, I see, I was, yes? And as we practice our I was, we use historically. We use historically for a specific reason. And Wade, of all people, should know. Wade, why do we use the word historically?
Because it has the word history in it. It's the past. It refers to the past.
Which means
It's over.
your verb can only be in what form?
Past tense.
Past tense. This is the weird reason we use the word historically. Because we tried forever to get people to talk in past tense. I was. And I would say, okay, what's your I was? And they would say, well, I'm just always nervous about it. But weren't we talking about I was? So we said, okay, we need a primer. The minute you say the word historically, you cannot help but use a past tense verb. That's the whole reason for it. It's really that simple. Every time you use the word historically, you must say, historically, I was. Yeah? That's why we use it. Okay, we got a new word. The good news. The good news is it possible to say the good news is and then talk about something that's not good? Cindy, can you say the good news is and then talk about something that's not good? No! How cool is that? If you're in a situation and you're looking for inspiration, you're looking for enthusiasm, you're digging deep and you can't find it, if you say out loud, the good news is, you have to fill it in. And where does this come from? Where does enthusiasm come from? Enthusiasm is a combination of our purpose, our belief, and our choice. We are enthusiastic about what we believe in. Our belief comes from a purpose. The access gap was a greater purpose for us. We all have a purpose. And then my favorite part that no one actually likes for some reason is it's a choice. I think I might have told this story. I'm going to tell it again if I have. I've been focusing on gratefulness, gratitude, and appreciation for this month and last month for Thanksgiving. And I had one of these nights where nothing was going right. Remember the story? And we'd finally gotten the kids down, the twins down, and I had pizza in the oven. I didn't even have time to make a real dinner for the older boys. And suddenly, and it's a newer oven, and I'd forgotten to put the cookie sheet under the pizza. Or no, I put the cookie sheet under the pizza was the problem. And the oven starts to smoke, and the smoke alarms go off, and the pizza's burnt, and the babies wake up. And Brett and I run upstairs, and at first it's just one, and now we have 2 screaming babies, and a smoke alarm going off, and the older boy's starving. And I'm like, Brett, okay, go get the smoke alarm off and open the doors. I got the babies. So I've got 2 babies, right, on the crib, and they're standing up and they're like, I don't want to be awake. Why am I awake? Why did you wake me up? And I'm like, gratitude. Well, the good news is they're not deaf. And he literally happened. And I walked in the door and he's like, why are you? And I'm standing there with these crying kids laughing. And he's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, the good news is they're not deaf. That was the best that I had at that moment. And it allowed me to be able to stand in gratitude and appreciation and enthusiasm in the moment. It allowed for the rest of the night, despite the fact that I had to cut the crust off the bottom of the pizza, to be an enjoyable family evening and not me feeling like it was ruined and then my energy would impact the rest of the house. It was a choice. In that moment, it would have been so easy to say, oh my God, this is the worst thing that ever happened. What am I ever going to do? I'm a disaster. We're a disaster. And in that moment, I chose to say, the good news is, we're an attraction business. People are attracted to positive. People are attracted to enthusiasm. And we're going to be in business a long time, folks. And some of us have been here a long time. And this is when we need to say, what is the enthusiasm that we're going to pull out? How are we going to be enthusiastic to attract others? What do we need to do to leave the caution at the door and to take our unbridled enthusiasm out into the streets? Because when you are enthusiastic about something, think about, Colin, when you got engaged to Dennis, gorgeous, phenomenal, amazing woman. How excited were you?
I was bouncing.
Did you like keep it to yourself?
No.
Yeah. You probably like told the checkout person at the supermarket.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When we're excited about something, we don't let anything stop us from telling everybody that we meet, everybody that we know. Right? You're like, I'm excited, you gotta meet this person. This academic stuff is meaningless without heart, as important as it is. We need the heart. That's our job. So next week, we're going to actually work on it. And this week, I'm giving you homework. Your business grows with as much effort as you put into it. Put yourself into your business. Practice saying the good news is in every aspect of your life. In the craziest moment, when the tire blows out on the middle of the freeway, I want you to say to yourself, the good news is, freaking Robin, the good news is that I'm actually going to be late for the appointment that I didn't really want to go on anyway. That's what this is about. Because it is our job to inspire enthusiasm. Because it's the only thing that got me here at 9 a.m. when I was up all night with the babies and just drank a freaking jug full of onion tea. Right? There's a reason you're in here. You get up on Saturday mornings because you're enthusiastic about what we do. As you're doing the learning, it becomes a skill to access the enthusiasm. Because it's so easy to go to your head when we have so much to learn. So for communication training for the next couple weeks, that's what we're going to practice. We're going to practice the skill of inspiring our own enthusiasm and sharing it with others. What we do here is amazing. It is magical. It doesn't take magic, and it's magical. We're going into the holidays when you're going to see all kinds of people who you see all the time, who you don't see all the time. And they're gonna say, hey, how's it going? And you have an opportunity to say, it's amazing. Let me tell you what I'm part of. Let me tell you what this thing that you know I've been part of, what I'm focused on right now. Let me practice the skill of my scouting report from a place of unbridled enthusiasm. Because the good news is, it's a choice. That in and of itself is exciting. So homework this week. And it's really fun. You're going to catch yourself. Especially Dawn. Can you imagine? You're going to be like at school. Kid just
I got
catch-
slapped in the face, but the
Text
good
ya.
news is they're so fun.
That's right. The good news is that the kid showed his emotions.
Yeah.
That's the good news. That's your homework this week. And then we're going to keep working on it because your enthusiasm is an asset. Your choice is a skill. And it will make the difference of 10x growth on this team. So thank you. The good news is I'm done.
Bad news, but I'm in suit.
I know, it's so good.
The good news is, you know that you discover you don't like onion soup. Or onion tea.
Yes. So, right, what's that?
So the good news is it wasn't liberty.
Well, you got some.
So, okay, right?
Together.
Stop it.
So-
You're making me feel bad.
One of the things, and I just, so I want to make sure, because everything that Robin said was dead on. And it's fun. So a couple of things hit me when she was talking. One, it's really fun to know that going forward, the pieces here will be skills and tools that we teach. So there will be a 20-minute talk on, or an hour talk on, or there will be a module on the components, because people show up on Saturdays for training, like you've got to learn, right? And so there's going to be new people who come in, and they come in to learn, and so they're going to be, but it's not going to be this earth-shattering, oh my God, look how amazing the system we built is. They're just showing up to learn what they've got to learn to be able to run the business, because back in the day, we had to learn to do the same things. They were different things, but there was still the show up and learn. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's so fun to start talking about winning again and talking about feeling and emotions and change. And like, that's fantastic, because it's been so long since we haven't. And so there might be a couple people in the room that are like, I don't know what you're talking about because I am excited. And when Robin talks about enthusiasm as a skill, like, look, we've all done it. We've all like been excited until we've been excited. We're like, no, this feels pretty good. And then you're like, oh, this is really good. Like, there's a difference. And we don't even know the governors we put on ourselves. And so we've got that. The second piece, though, is you only need to be you. How you display and experience enthusiasm isn't displaying enthusiasm like anybody else. This isn't about being anybody else. This is about being the best you can be. Here's what I know. I've gotten into, Bob's a quiet, reserved guy. But when you get Bob talking about something that Bob's passionate about, Bob affects you with his words and his emotions based on that. Bob's enthusiasm comes out in Bob's way. Dawn's enthusiasm comes out in Dawn's way. The outside world, right? Bob can convince anyone he's not enthusiastic until you get Bob into one of those conversations. And then when you get Bob into one of those conversations, like his entire shtick goes away because he loves it. He talks about raising his boys, about experiencing, about how they like the kids and where they are. Like you get talking about the things that they're, man, you have a contagious enthusiasm when your emotions are behind it. Right, Wendy, it's not about being Bella, right? It's not about being Cindy, it's about being you. And how you glow and how you get excited when things are going, because we get to leverage the assets that we have. Right, Cindy, it's not about acting excited. It's not about trying to be like, okay, right? I'll never forget there was an RVP, you know, that was like, I'm excited, and it was just fake and phony as much as can possibly be. And the moment I did that, Sue knew exactly who I was talking about, because it just wasn't real, but it was the, I'm supposed to be excited, so I'm gonna act excited. This isn't about acting excited, this is about discovering enthusiasm. It's about the ability to harness the feelings inside that said, you guys all realize that you get to create whatever it is that you want to create here. Most of us don't have that ability other places. It doesn't mean you can't go make money. See, Wade can go make a good living being an attorney, but he can't create the life and the lifestyle he wants doing that. But he can here. He gets to be the man he wants to be all of the time, and to attract the people into his life all of the time, and to surround himself with the time all of the time. That's freaking awesome. Some people might be, Tony might say, shoot, I can't go make $500,000 anywhere else. This is pretty cool that I can make $500,000, and he can get enthusiastic about making $500,000 because there's a legitimate shot to make $500,000. And Tony's like, man, I can make that's freaking unbelievable. I can be 24 years old, make $500,000 a year. That's pretty damn exciting. Wade could say, I can make $500,000 being an attorney. But the $500,000 might not be the trigger of enthusiasm for Wade. He gets to build it the way he wants to here. Tony gets to build it the way he wants to here. Billy here might say, I get to make $9,000 a month, but I don't have a boss. And I don't need to make more than $9,000 a month. But if I can make $9,000 a month in passive income, and I can travel 3 months a year, dude, sign me up. The challenge with our old business is if you didn't want to make $1 million a year, you were a loser. This is about, Cindy, you triggering what you want and then fighting like crazy to go get it. Is it hard? Yeah. Winning's hard. Guess what? So's losing. Changing is hard. Guess what? So's not changing. Getting better is hard. So staying the same. And we get to do it together. But what Robin was talking about is by making it a choice, you get to figure out if you're choosing to be enthusiastic. Bless you. Look, when it came to that picture of the team, for the last 6 years, I have not chosen to build a team. Because some people go, well, that's a pretty stupid choice. Probably. I wish I had the capacity to have done it, but that's the reality of the situation. I saw the picture and I went, oh my God, I've got 20 of those pictures. I got 50 of those pictures. We got a bunch of those pictures. And guess what? You know how we created that picture? Those pictures? Because that's what we wanted. This is what I want. So we created a picture. This is what I wanted. This was the most important thing in my professional life. And so we created it. This was really hard to do. So we created that picture. You know why we created that picture? Created that picture because my belief is if we create this picture, Tony and Wendy can have the other picture and it won't go away. Bella can build a team and be in alignment with who she is her entire life. Cindy can attract and influence and impact people's lives and create a space for them where she's in alignment and a powerful, strong woman that's changing lives and doesn't have to look over her shoulder and be a certain person. The reason this picture was the most important picture is I believe that without this picture, only a certain characteristic of person can actually build the other picture and sustain it. And ours went from 87 people to 200,000 people with pictures like that because the environments that had, the cultures that had created. But guess what? We're not going to spend the next 6 years building this picture anymore, are we? Because it's done. Now we get to use it. Here's my question. If I feel bad, if any part of me feels bad about not having focused on the other picture, how does that affect me going forward?
Slow you down.
Why?
It's just, it takes away from you. It's not,
You know,
it's
you
not
focus.
positive.
It impacts your enthusiasm. Makes you less attractive, which then in turn inhibits your ability to build a team.
Every day, guys, I want you to hear this. Every day we don't have that picture, I feel worse. If I'm holding that, every day we don't have it, I feel worse. Every day I feel worse, I'm less effective. Every day I'm less effective, I feel worse. Every day I feel worse, I'm less effective.
It sure doesn't sound like you.
It doesn't. That I have a handful of gifts in life, that is one of them.
That's not good.
Now, it's modelable, but it's also explainable. See, it's one thing. Look, it is a talent. I have a talent. It's actually a long-developed skill. Right? I believe that long-developed skills turn into talents. Right? I can see things. When things happen, man, I can find the good news in anything. Right? It's like, it's lightning quick. And I didn't even realize I could do it until Rob was like, man, you just like I'm really good at it. Which serves. But some people go, I'm not like that. But it's also explainable. And when it's explainable, even if you're not good at it, best you get good at it. Because when you explain the impact of not being good at it, and you give it language and you're like, holy crap, it's inevitable that's going to happen. When you can explain it, even if you're not good at it, the good news is you can get better. And we don't have the luxury of not getting good at it. The good news is we have the tools. We have every tool you need to master it. Except one thing that we can't provide. Your willingness to see lack as strength. That's a personal thing that I can't help. But guys, this is our business. Look, what's going to happen? January Q1's coming, right? Could everybody in this room have 5 to 7 people on their bullpen that they could see in the beginning of next year? If we do that, we're going to get on kitchen tables, aren't we? If we get on kitchen tables, we're going to tell our story. If we use this time to develop our skills, are we going to tell the story pretty well? If we run the F&A systems and the things that we get, are we going to get good at getting commitment and delivering the F&A? Well, that means we're going to create some clients, aren't we? As we create some clients, we're going to see some impact. That's going to help us, right? But then we're going to have the opportunity to get people to the meeting, and we're going to be able to recruit them. And as we recruit them, we're going to get some of them licensed. And as we get some of them licensed, they're going to go see their top 10. Now, the fun thing is, if 8 of us or 10 of us or 20 of us get on appointments and then we get new people licensed, how easy is it to get new people on licensed on appointments if old people are on appointments? So all of a sudden, Bella passed her test. How hard is it going to be like, hey, let's go see some people? She's like, of course, let's go see some people. If Cindy's on some appointments and Bella's on some appointments, when new people come in, aren't new people going to go, well, guess when I get licensed, I'm going to go. And like, we're not talking about having to be a sophisticated persuader to get a new licensed person to go see their parents or their neighbors or their cousins. Because the reason they took their test was to make money. So, are you open to possibility thinking?
Yes.
Are you open to acknowledging the adventure that you've been on and putting it in the proper perspective? I've been here January 12th. I got licensed January 12th, 1996. So in 1 month from today, I will have been in Primerica 20 years. I'll be starting my 20th year. Nice face.
Oops.
You're old.
Right? Now here's the thing. When I was in the business my 7th year, I was at $350,000 in income. My 7th year. If you would have asked 7th year Brett, where's your income going to be 13 years from now? We had 190 people come into a meeting. Had the number 1 and the number 2 RVPs promotion, number 1 and number 5 RVP promotions in the country. Had already occurred. If you asked me, after producing the number 1 vice president in the country, the number 5 RVP promotion in the country, $350,000 RV income, and 100, almost 200 people come to a meeting, you ask that guy, where's his income 13 years from now? Do you think that young man would go, there's going to be a day that has 13 people in a meeting? No. You want to know one of the things I'm most grateful for? The 13 people in this room. I am grateful with everything in me, the path that we took. I wouldn't change this for anything. Now, I say that at the end of the last 6 years. If you would have asked me 6 years ago and told me exactly how hard this was going to be, there's a part of me that said, hey, that's okay. I can be a jerk, man, but give me the money, right? I'm not sure. You know, if you asked me then, I might not have. So this could be complete rationalization, but the good news is I wasn't blessed with it. So that look, it's a long time. It's all right. I had to settle that look. Cindy, you have to settle that look. Wait, you have to settle that look. We've been in business. We've been through these things. We've been through the roads in terms of what's going on. There's no other path I would have ever wanted to be on. I am so proud of what we're about to go do. And the reason is, I could go make money. I am an enthusiastic person. Man, you put my ass on fire, I will not sleep. I can work 18-hour days. And I am good at getting people excited. But I couldn't teach it to save my life. And so I recruited a bunch of people and told them that they could do what I did. But none of them could. They could do what they could do, but they couldn't do. You had to have my skill set and my point of view to be able to do what I did. And no one has my skill set and my point of view. I don't wish those 2 things on anybody. And I was living a lie. That's how it felt. You understand that anybody in this room can make any amount of money that they want to make based on what we're creating in the culture we're creating. They'll make the changes and enjoy and create the experience. And I couldn't say that 13 years ago. 13 years ago it was some will, somewhat, so what, so one's waiting. Go find the ones that want to win, and everyone else, it's not your fault that they're not strong enough to win.
But educate us.
I've been saying it for years, man. I got it down. Man, someone leaves a meeting, oh, that's weakness leaving. Man, you can't fix stupid.
Well, that's it.
That is true.
I still have the shirt.
Hey, but if you're not willing to change and you're only going to complain about your life, you must be stupid. That's not true. If you don't have the tools, resources, and the point of view, how can you know? If you don't know, how can you know? Guys, we get to be a part of something big. If this was about me making $1 million a year, this is not worth it. Trust me, there's way easier ways. But Cindy, you don't have to build this now. Sue doesn't have to build this now. Don, you don't have to build this now. We get to run it. We get to run a Primerica business now. That's what this week was about for us. Was we now get to, you know how to run a Primerica business. We know how to do it. We saw it. We know how to create it. We know what it feels like to build a team. It's a brand new business way. It's a brand new. Who can we go see? Man, I want to go build a team. We want to go build a team. We want to go find some young, hungry, fired up people that want to make $500 a year, $500 a month, or $500 a week, or $500 a day, and create a space for any of them. That there's a space for all of us. We want to attract some amazing people that don't want to get licensed, that want to become a huge advocate and understand that they get to be a part of something big. Man, there's an opportunity. We want to have 1,000 gaps. We want 20,000 advocates. We want to have an advocate dinner 3 years from now, right in the holidays, where people come in and we got the smartest people we know that are in your corner, that are celebrating the opportunities and the changes that are going on. When Robin talks about enthusiasm, we want you to be able to light people on fire and let them know that there's hope and opportunity in their lives. There's a shot to be a part of something, that they don't have to believe that just how it is how it is. That you got access, that you can guide them, that there's a shot for them to show up and learn and change and grow and apply this stuff to their life. They don't have to quit their job to apply this principle to their life. You understand that if people learn the 4 principles of the successful and how they think of the way, if they just apply that to their life, everything can be different? If people can just identify, they stop getting validation from figuring out themselves and understand the value of leveraging experts, just that alone can change how they take their future. They might not make any money and it changes everything. That's what we get to be a part of. But the only way that gets received is if we're sitting across the damn kitchen table telling our story. Introducing the idea and letting them devour it to the level that they can. And if they can devour the entire thing, fantastic. And if they can only take a bite, that's okay, because you're going to develop a relationship, and in 6 months you'll give them a bite, and in 2 years they're going to be able to do it, and you get to learn how to nurture and develop those relationships. This is what we get to do. This system fades into the background. It's always there. You can always turn to it and say, what are we doing and where are we going? You got to turn to your lineup. Where is it? But those are tools. Valuable. But they're only valuable if the reason you're here gets connected. If you know what it feels like to not know, and then you know the value of knowing, that gap is an opportunity for enthusiasm. For Bob and Don to be able to say, man, we did everything we knew how to do, but we didn't have this information. And when we learned this information, our entire world opened up. There's an opportunity to connect with people and to share the enthusiasm about access. Because you can't know what you don't know. We can't take advantage of what we don't have access to. We just can't. So whether it's the business, it's the products, it's the tools, it's the support system, it's the environment, it's the relationship, it's the vision, it's the income, whatever triggers you, feed it. And the good news is, when you feed it, the others come along. I don't talk to Wade about making $500,000. I talk to him about how he's going to do it, the life that he's going to have, and the experience and the freedom that we're going to have, and alignment to be able to do it. The man he gets to be, the father he gets to be, the experience, the people he gets to, that culture, that environment, because that's the language. Tony and man, let's go make $500,000. They're both valuable. Tony's like, well, I want to be the man. I know you do, but let's still go. Right? It allows us to be that. Guys, we're here. The next 2 weeks, take some time, process, go through, do the homework, identify, figure out your enthusiasm, and figure out your resistances, and celebrate them. Call Robin and go, you know, I found out I am holding on to X, Y, and Z. Man, the moment you can give language to the shit you're holding on to, you can let it go.
If you are hanging out with someone close to you and you are not sharing something about what is happening here, say to yourself, what is holding me back?
And if you think it's, I
Call
just
me,
don't know
call
what
Brett.
to say, you're missing the point. And that's okay, because identifying that will help.
It's the only way that you're holding back with what's here, with what's possible.
So let's have some fun on Wednesday night. Get people here.
Yeah, bring
Meeting's
people
gonna
here.
be great.
We're gonna have fun.
Have some fun. Like we'll go through the meeting. We're good. We'll be things to talk about. We'll have some cocktails and be able to hang out and chit chat and just kind of just have a good community. So we love you guys. We're excited about what's coming, and thank you for being a part of this. So have some fun. Big.